Hello and welcome to Book Talks with Sandy. I am Sandy Sanders. I am your host and creator of the Book Talks with Sandy platform. We are brought to you by Coffee Conversations with Sandy and Friends, which you can find us on our Facebook channel, YouTube channel, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and the CTR Media Network. I am super excited to have you here. Book Talks with Sandy is our platform for authors, anthology book projects, and most of all, I say that it is for you. Why do I say that? Because you just might be looking for a good book to read. I am super excited on tonight. We are continuing part 2 of the book tour for soon to be released anthology book project that is authored and visionary author, none other than Dr. Bridget C. Williams. She is the visionary author, along with the contributing authors of the soon to be released book called Courage in Cannabis. This book, as you know, it is a book filled with individuals that are taking courageous positions to share their story. This anthology is over 40 authors, contributing authors. This robust edition, this book is going to provide you with a series of challenges that the assumption in enlightening your points or your thoughts about cannabis. I also want to share with you is that these are courageous stories. These ladies who you see here on my screen, yes, they are going to be a part of this soon to be released book. And I am super excited to introduce to you tonight the contributing authors of Volume 2, the Triumphant Stories of soon to be released Courage in Cannabis. We have with us on tonight contributing author Tanika Spicer Combs, Julia Duran, and Rebecca Stanford. There may be some others, guys, that will be joining us. So you all look out, go ahead and send it out. I always tell you, at least tag 5 people, because you don't want to miss this conversation. So again, just kind of hang out with me. We're going to give everyone an opportunity. Ladies, how are you doing?
Good.
Good. We're going to have fun. I know my audience is probably, where's Sandy? Where are you? Yes, I'm at my daughter's house and I'm not in my studio and I'm taking care of a rabbit and 2 dogs. Go figure. Okay. But we're going to have a great time. I'm super excited to be here on tonight. I'm going to do our intro one more time, ladies, and then we're going to come back and start our conversation, if that'll be okay. Courage in Cannabis. It is, I want to bring up my screen here. I'm going to share my screen here. Courage in Cannabis, I want to bring it up just a little bit more so you all can see. This is, as I mentioned earlier, it is part 2 of the tour of these contributing authors here. Dr. Bridget C. Cole Williams. She is a medical physician, visionary author, speaker, advocate in the cannabis world. This book, as I mentioned earlier, is called Courage in Cannabis, Anthology Book Project, Volume 2, the Triumph Stories. And so, as you can see, there are over 40 plus individuals that are contributing to this anthology. And so tonight and tomorrow, I want to put the word out that we are going to be doing a special edition tomorrow. So we talked about it on Sunday. We are watched in the UK and we're watched all over the world. And so one of our speaker friends saw the first book and bought it and purchased it. She suffers with MD and Yinka Kalani. So we're going to bring her on tomorrow night. So we're working out some logistics to be on a bigger platform where I can have more individuals on, because we want to take the dialogue a little bit deeper in reference to walking in courage in cannabis. On tonight, audience, listen, I need you guys to share this out. Share it out in your community. I want to go ahead and allow these ladies to introduce themselves to you. And we're going to start with Tanika Spicer Combs. And if you will, come on and say hi to us.
Hello, I'm Tanika Spicer Combs. I am very excited to be a part of this project. I missed out on the first book, and Dr. Bridget gave me a second chance. So I am really honored to be a part of this book and share my story with everyone and hope that it helps someone else.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to you sharing your story and finding out more about you and your relationship and your connection with Dr. Bridget. As you say, she gave you another chance. I love it. That's her. And she's letting us know now. She even told me, she says, listen, you're in for life now, Sandy. And so hopefully you'll be making that trip on down to Biloxi, Mississippi as well. All right. And we have Julie Duran. Julie, come on and say hi to us.
Hello. Thanks for having me. I'm from Central Ohio, and I'm a farmer. I farm hemp. I also manufacture fertilizer for cannabis, so that kind of goes hand in hand. And then I manufacture a CBD line out of the hemp that we grow on the farm. So kind of I started like it's all medicinal, trying to keep it clean. And that's what's really important in, by my background in the industry.
Awesome. I want to get into conversation about the fertilization, the fertilizer. I mean, I'm a country girl. I was raised in North Carolina. I know all about farming. I know about, planting the corn seeds and then watching it grow, but never thought, and since in this conversation of cannabis, and yes, there is a farmer up in Asheville, North Carolina that I met from the first book. And so never thought about the fertilizer. Yeah, I'm looking forward to you enlightening and educating me more on that. Well, come on, Rebecca, and say hi to us.
Hello, I'm Rebecca. I'm also in Central Ohio. I'm a massage therapist. I've been doing CBD massages for about 4 years now. And I also had a chance to be in the first book and missed out. So I'm very thankful I got that second chance too.
Hey, listen, that's why she expanded it more. You're talking about 40 people in this book, and that is
roped us
amazing.
in early.
Well, listen, I'm glad that you are on this journey along with your co-authors. So have you all met before?
No.
This is your first time. See,
hi everyone.
I know Dr. Bridget know how to do some stuff for sure. Well, that's amazing. That is wonderful. Tanika, where are you?
What city? I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio.
You're in Ohio too. Okay. So how far is that from you, Julie?
Cincinnati's about an hour, 45 minutes.
Listen, y'all need to meet for coffee. For sure. And Rebecca, where are you?
Central Ohio, so about the same.
About the same. Oh yeah, y'all need to make. Listen, you're part of now Coffee Conversation. Y'all got to have the conversation for sure. Find that time. Well, I would love for people to know a little bit about. Let's see our our visionary author. I want to share my screen here, and I know this is about the only video that I could locate with Dr. Here. We are on Book Talks with Sandy, guys, and we're doing a book tour interview with the authors of the soon-to-be released book that is called Courage in Cannabis. This is the volume 2, the Triumph Stories, individuals that will be sharing their contribution or making their contribution to this anthology book project. Dr. Bridget is the medical doctor and an owner of Green Harvest. As you can see, Green Harvest Health, reclaiming your wellness. It is one of the only medical cannabis card at the time that this was made, medical card coaching clinic in Ohio, based in Columbus and Cleveland areas. She says that our medical cannabis doctors provide comprehensive and compensation evaluation and offer cannabis and or life coaching sessions to every patient. This treatment approach is to optimize and elevate, your wellness. One of the key things and testimony of Dr. Bridget is that she said to her patient, "Let me help you. I want to help." So I want to share this this video of Dr. Bridget here briefly.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bridget Williams from Green Harvest Health, the only medical cannabis card and coaching clinic in Ohio. We provide medical cannabis cards, education all around Ohio, as well as life and wellness coaching to reclaim your wellness.
So, Green Harvest Health, reclaim your wellness, and there's other information there. So I'd like to go ahead and let's start with Tanika. I want to go ahead and start with you. And I'm going to, ladies, we're going to sit back in the green room while she shares her contribution to the book. As you mentioned, I want to go ahead and bring your information here. Just bear with me here for just one moment. And and Rebecca, I do see your website information as well. And Tanika, you have your Gmail information. So come on and share with us.
Okay. I actually started my journey with using this medicinally in 2019 when the program became available in Ohio. And I actually used it to change my life. I got off of all of my prescription pharmaceuticals for anxiety, for depression, for insomnia. It just completely helped everything. It gave me such clarity that I was able to kind of restart my life. I was going through a rough place, and getting with my doctor and getting my card helped tremendously turn my life around.
I do apologize. I thought you were going to say more.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's quite all right. It's quite all right. Come on and give us a little bit more. Okay, so you're no longer on your medicines, and you what is it that we can expect to read in your chapter?
My chapter is about leaving an abusive relationship.
Okay.
Finding myself again, getting the clarity that I needed to find who I was and get out of that toxic place that I had been for such a long time.
Awesome. Okay. So you're allowing us, I'm making sure that maybe Candy or some of the are not trying to reach out to me here. So normally I don't look at my phone, but because we have Dr. Bridget, and I'm pretty sure that I don't think she's joining us tonight, but let's continue. So you share about going through the domestic violence. And were you on medication at that time during that period in your life?
I was.
Okay. And so
I was using it to treat the depression and the things that I was going through due to the relationship, but none of that was helping. It was just making me feel like a zombie. I was just kind of going through the motions, not really engaging in life and not really doing much, and couldn't get out of the house, out of bed some days. It was really bad. Yeah.
And so obviously then getting on a virtual talk show is a big step for you.
Yes, very much so.
We congratulate. We applaud you. We applaud you. And that takes courage right there to do that. And so I want you to share just a little bit more your what are you taking, like a pill form, or what part of the cannabis is helping you?
I tend to smoke, the smoke just is the immediate relief.
Okay.
There's something about inhaling, exhaling, just that release of whatever I've been dealing with or holding in. It's just therapeutic for
Release
me.
it. It's
Right.
therapeutic for you. Okay.
Right. And I do use edibles as well, just because you can't smoke everywhere. But
Exactly.
those have really, really helped keep me even keeled, and I feel like I can function better when I'm medicating.
Okay. And Rebecca, you're a therapist?
I'm a massage therapist.
You're a massage therapist. So some of the
Yes.
things that let's go ahead and roll this into that conversation, because you're using CBD as a method to bring about some relaxation and some healing process. Go ahead and introduce yourself and your business.
I'm Rebecca Stanforth. I've been a massage therapist for about 15 years, and I got into it after growing up in martial arts. I'm still a martial artist, just not as often. I got into cannabis working in the massage industry with CBD and as well as being a caretaker for my father with cancer. And then I became a medical patient myself when I got a really bad case of COVID in 2020 and have continued to have symptoms for almost 3 years now.
And so were you a massage therapist before COVID, or?
Oh, yeah, I've been a therapist for about 15 years.
Oh, okay. Okay. So what made you do the study and find out the best results of adding CBD to the massage therapy?
It started to become more and more popular, and I've always grown up around a cannabis-friendly household. My father was
Mhm.
very cannabis-friendly, and he was the one with cancer that I was the caretaker for.
Okay.
So, as soon as things became available, I started researching them.
Wow. Wow. So it's been a part of your everyday life um, through seeing your father use
Oh,
it
yeah.
as a cancer patient. Okay. All right,
Yeah.
great. I mean, and I'm hearing that more and more, so it doesn't surprise me in these conversations. So we have our next panelist and author is Julie Duran, who comes from a different angle. She is a farmer of the hemp plant. So come on and share with us a little bit. I'd like for you to take me through the journey of the planting of of it and it growing. But go ahead, introduce yourself to us.
Well, my name's Julie Doran, and I'm in Central Ohio, just like most of us, I guess, on here.
Yeah.
But really, my journey started back in like early 2000s. I used the plant medicinally myself. I had a tragic accident in my early 20s. My boyfriend had shot himself in my apartment, and automatically, the doctors put you on all types of medication and pills,
Yeah.
and that's the first thing that they do. They don't even know about or talk about cannabis. So I found cannabis and used it and got off of all the pills. The pills just make everything worse. So that's kind of where I started. And then when they started legalizing in 2012, that's when I started really focusing on the fertilizer, because I am a farmer. I'm a 6th-generation farmer. So I've just always grown up on the farm. And it was really just important to keep the medicine clean and organic. So that's kind of like where I started. 2016, my dad is a diabetic. So after, creating the fertilizer line and just being in the industry and learning the different contributions to our health and things like that with the different terpenes, I started talking to my dad, and he never used it, medicinally before. And I got him on CBD. I was like, you're not going to get high. If anything, it'll help you. You're taking a handful of pills, let's just try to, get your numbers down and get you feeling better. And so we did. And within a week, his blood sugar levels were cut in half. And gradually over the next year, he was taking about 14 pills. And gradually over the year, we got him down to 4 pills and half of the insulin that he was taking before. And he just added CBD. So he takes CBD daily, like a medication.
So I'm gonna stop you. I'm stopping you right in the middle of a sentence because I am a type 2 diabetic.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to imagine your father 1 week, 1 month, his A1C is at a level that he's taking medication. And what happens on the next after taking it?
It was within a week. He just gradually watched his numbers come down like day after day, and he's like, I don't understand it. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
How does this work? And unless it like you see it.
What did the doctor say?
Well, they said whatever you're doing, keep doing it. They really, the doctors in the medical field do not know a lot about cannabis unless they are specifically in the marijuana industry. They were never trained on it. They were never trained on the endocannabinoid system, and doctors really don't want us on natural therapies.
Yeah.
That's why they automatically jump to pills and prescriptions and pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that they've ever been trained on.
Okay.
So yeah, a lot of people just don't know the options that they have available with cannabis.
And do you feel that, and ladies, please let's contribute to the, if you will, contribute to this conversation. Do you feel that it is the knowledge or the knowing or the desire to live healthier and to go natural? Are you finding that that is increasing? That people really want to know how to live healthier?
Definitely.
And even by using cannabis. Is the curiosity there? Anybody?
I think people are trying to go more natural anyway, and get rid of the pharmaceuticals, just the overdoses and the pandemic we have with the drugs and pain pills. I think everybody's ready for natural, at least try that first.
Yeah. And so, Tanika, how has it been for you, again, having to take an antidepressant? As you were saying, feeling in a zombie state or not really wanting to function, whereas now you're using the medical cannabis as a way of treating that. How are your days?
My days are much better. I've been able to get out of the house. Back when I was on the pharmaceuticals, I weighed over 300 pounds because I wouldn't go anywhere. I wouldn't do anything.
Okay.
I wasn't active at all. And then once I started medicating with cannabis, I got outside of myself and I was comfortable to go out in public and just got out of my head and was able to just enjoy life.
I love that, getting out of your head. Absolutely. That's great. Those of you that are tuning in, and Rebecca, anything you would like to say?
Pretty much the same things. Being in the massage industry, I've always grown up around alternative medicine, and cannabis just fits right in there. And I think people are becoming more and more open-minded, especially the last probably 5 years.
Yeah, you would say the last 5 years. So just slightly before COVID.
Probably.
So do you all attend like conventions and conferences where they educate you as you're getting into the you're a farmer, Julie. You talk about, I really want to talk about that because I'm 62 years old, and it was illegal to be growing that stuff in your backyard. And so and then whenever the previous author, when she said, yeah, Miss Sandy, I got a whole farm up in Asheville, North Carolina. We're doing quite well. So come on, talk to us about that.
Well, Ohio didn't make it easy. We had a minimum of 1,000 plants. And the very beginning, the first year that we planted was 2020. And I started the Ohio Hemp Farmers Cooperative. And I did hold hemp farm summits for 3 years, bringing the farmers together with the businesses and extractors and processors, trying to connect the businesses with the farmers and to educate them on how you grow the plant, just basic information because farmers don't know.
Yes.
So 1,000 plants is a lot of plants and it's hard. And just with me in the cooperative, I did about 5,000 plants my first year, and I had 8 people full time out in the field every day. So it takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And it's so much more enjoyable if you're doing it privately or secretly, I guess, where you can do 4 or 5 plants and it's your own medicine that you're growing. And that's very, very enjoyable and therapeutic. Like gardening in general is very therapeutic. Just working, getting your hands and feet and breathing like the microorganisms in the soil and just feeling it with your skin and stuff like that. That's why people do grounding where they just go outside with bare feet and stuff like that. And it does help. So, I mean, it is hard work. It is very enjoyable. I would suggest if you are interested in growing, start indoors, start in, your basement or a small closet. If you've got children, it's, you can do it in a private area. But if you are using it as medicine, it is very therapeutic to grow your own and learn, how to do it and how it works.
And so then there's the other piece of keeping it maintained. And so you have fertilizer. So it's probably just like, okay, so what makes it different? Help me to understand the fertilization.
My fertilizer, it's all organic. So that was like the major thing, was keeping it clean. Like tobacco doesn't kill us and give us cancer. It's all the chemicals and additives that we use in the tobacco and in the cigarettes. So cannabis cures cancer. I don't want it to make people sick. If you use chemicals and all of this, pesticides and all that, it will make you sick. So that is a huge step with the education and trying to just educate everybody on why it has to remain clean. It's a medicinal plant. It's not something that we're feeding our cattle. And I mean, I believe in keeping that stuff clean and organic as well. But just the fertilizer just came naturally to me just because, I am a farmer.
You're naturally a farmer, correct?
Yeah. And I just saw that need that once they started legalizing in 2012 on the West Coast, they really didn't care what they were using on their plants. They just wanted the most, harvest or the heaviest or biggest harvest they could get. So they were using anything that would give us the heaviest buds and the densest buds and growth regulators and things like that. And that's just not what it's about.
Exactly. So, and Rebecca, you're as a massage therapist in adding CBD. What has been some of the testimonies that individuals have shared with you, maybe as a first timer, of you adding the CBD to their massage?
Usually I use a CBD freeze cream, which has a little bit of peppermint in it, and it gives a little bit of a tingly, and it's really good for pain relief. So I tend to use that on somebody who's in more pain and has problem areas going on. It's been really interesting to watch the massage industry start to accept the CBD massages. You can get them at some of the franchises now, which wasn't possible 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm. What if someone is experiencing, and I'm just asking, sciatica pain? Would the oils and what you do, have you had anyone to experience like in the L4 and the L5s?
Usually not specifically for that. That's usually muscular, so it would be more deep tissue muscle, but generally it has a lot of pain relief. And there's also the CBD regular cream that I've used that can help with skin issues.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to ask these ladies to share their contribution to the book. I am Sandy Sanders. Y'all, thank you for tuning in. Y'all know when we have some book talks, we have some really good book talks. So tonight we are with the contributing authors of the soon to be released Volume 2 with Dr. Bridget C. Williams, and who is the visionary author, along with the contributing authors. These ladies who you see on the screen with me tonight are the contributing authors of the upcoming book that is scheduled to be released sometime later in spring. They're doing author tours right now. So I'm going to step back and just let them share their portion of what they're coming forward with in the book. And so Tanika, you ready? You want to give me a little bit more this time? You ready?
Sure. It's just a little hard for me to talk about.
Okay.
I am still currently going through this at the very end stages of it.
Okay.
But I am very excited to just share the things that I went through to let other people know that there is a way out, that there are resources, there are just people willing to help.
Right.
And letting people know that the way that I got the clarity to be able to find my strength to go was through cannabis.
And that's the courage right there. And so by all means, I want this to be an amazing experience for you. One of the things I'd like to ask is, what would you like for your reader to walk away with?
I would like,
and you may have just said it, but go ahead.
To walk away feeling empowered, feeling like you can find yourself again. You haven't lost the things that you think you've lost through whatever you've been through, that there is hope.
Yeah. That speaks kind of like Julie, like with your dad living. I mean, one of the things I do not like giving myself this insulin shot every morning. I'm chuckling about it, but it is something that I know, and my audience knows. I'm very candid and open of wanting to find a way to reduce those numbers, the A1C. So just like Tanika is saying, I'm pretty sure your father could not even believe it himself.
No, and I grew up in a big family. We're farmers. I have 12 brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
So my dad growing up, you didn't talk about pot. That was not even an option. You better not smell it on any of us.
Tell me your dad is the deacon in the church. And yes, and
they always thought we were Catholic, and they said, no, we're just farmers.
Yeah,
we're doing a lot of things. Right. Well, they had 8 girls. So they had like 5 girls in a row. They kept trying for boys. But
yeah.
Anyway, my dad was very surprised, and because he never heard of it or, knew it was medicinal. And that's the thing of all over the United States, we have all these medical programs now in all these different states, and it's still scheduled as no medicinal benefits. Yeah. I don't know how all of these individual states can have legal medicinal cannabis, and the federal government still, like the majority of us, it's legal. I don't know how the federal government still has it as a controlled substance. But it is very medicinal. And I would say the majority of the people that are going to be in this book have used it medicinally. And that's how they really got into it, whatever they do now. I used it medicinally, but before I ever did the fertilizer. And then just doing that, and in the industry, before I ever talked to Dad about using it or anything, you really get to know these different stories with, I have this mother in Cincinnati. She had an 8-year-old son. This was back in 2017, 18. So he's older now, but he was nonverbal. He was autistic. And as soon as she was scared, obviously, to try THC or, marijuana or anything like that with her son. And I said, well, just try this. I actually gave her, 3 or 4 bottles for free. And I was like, just try this and see if it makes a difference. And again, she called me crying on the phone. You cannot believe it. My son comes out, and he didn't have perfect speech or anything, of course, but he was trying to communicate and would talk to people, and especially her and his brothers and sisters and stuff like that. And that was just a game changer. It changes people's lives. And that's really why, I'll go to the state house. I've fought for legalization. I've educated. I try to get as many people involved, or just basically, letting them know, hey, this is not the devil's lettuce. This is not something that's going to kill you. This is not something that you're going to turn crazy if you try it. If anything, it's going to help. So that's why even the majority of my customers are seniors and children, because they don't want to get high. They don't want to smoke or, feel the THC effects. But I smoke, I like the THC effects. That's therapeutic to me. But a lot of people just, they will still get the health benefits from CBD that you would get from THC. You just don't physically feel the euphoria, what they would call a high.
Right.
But you still get the medicinal aspects. And once you're in the industry and just start talking to people, the whole reason that I'm in it and do all this stuff is because it changes lives. It's not because I'm making all this money at all. I actually give a lot of my stuff away for free just because I love helping people. I love to see that effect in people's lives. And I just love to hear the stories back. And then you take that, I take it to the State House. Like, can you write me, a statement or a testimony to let these people know, these legislators know that it is helping, it does work, and we do need this.
Yeah.
So it's huge, and people just don't know. That's the biggest thing, is just normalizing it and letting people know it is definitely medicinal.
And I'm glad that you broke it down in regard, because Dr. Bridget always does it for me. So thank you in her absence, because of being able to really understand the THC effect. And what was the other that you said?
CBD.
And the CBD effect.
Mm-hmm.
And so you broke it down for our audience to really understand, because like your dad and I, we probably, and so I'm 62. Did I ever smoke some weed? Absolutely. So we use words like weed and pot, okay?
Yeah.
And so here's the thing, that then when you get past all of that, and you become the nana that I am, and the grandma, and all of that, and the church lady, and then you really are still open to something can keep a person out of pain.
Yeah.
By all means, yes.
Yeah.
And it's natural.
Yep.
And we know that in the Word of God that's why He made herbs. That's why. And so I had to get my mind wrapped around that.
Yeah.
Is that it is a natural plant. It is here. And so it's how you use it, and what is the purpose and the reason for using it. We'd like to let everyone know is that I'd like them to know a little bit more about you. Was that your contribution to the book, by the way?
Really, Bridget came to me and she was like, the story, it's like a big road that you've been on, because it's really, I've been in legislation, I've been in farming, I've been in manufacturing products, I've been in medicinal, but that's really why, is because I know that it changes lives. It's very, very important to me. It's not just you're getting high, it's not that at all. But I try to educate people. So that's a huge contribution, to the book, and just letting people how to get into it and why, what it can do and why to use it.
Yeah. And why we need to go and buy an acre of land, and we seriously buy acre of land.
Yeah.
So yes, you're excited about the book and being on the tour. What would you like for a reader to walk away with, based on what you're going to be sharing? What is the one thing that you can share with us tonight that you've put in the book that you would like for us to walk away after reading your chapter?
Basically, just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to try it. And I always tell people, if you're going to try marijuana, always start with the low dose. A lot of people will do edibles or start off with edibles because they don't like to smoke. And I always tell people, start with the least, cut it in half or something like that until you learn your dose, because a lot of people do get into it and they just want to try it. So they'll take 3 or 4 edibles when they're like 20 milligrams a piece when you should be getting 5 milligrams. So I always make sure, if you're not going to smoke, where you can, feel it and say, okay, that's enough. I'll put that down.
Stop. Right.
Yeah. If you're going to do edibles and stuff, always start with the lowest, dose that you can, and then work your way up as to your therapeutic benefit, whatever, alleviates your pain or whatever your But yeah, that's the major thing is a lot of people will be like, oh man, I can't do it. I did it this one time and I was so messed up. And I was like, well, it's either that
Probably
was
too much.
you needed an indica or you had way too much.
Right. Exactly. Rebecca, yes, you're in the massage therapy practice, but as you mentioned earlier, is you had gotten sick as well. And did you subscribe to the medical cannabis to help you in your healing?
I did. I've had chronic neck pain from a car accident for a long time, and when I got the really bad COVID case, I had severe inflammation pretty much everywhere, and as well as really bad eye infections. And my eyes have continued to get worse over the past 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I got my medical cannabis card and used the THC side for pain. But then I also took CBD gummies, and it was the CBD gummies that kind of helped level out most of the long hauler or post-COVID symptoms that I've continued to have.
So tell us about in the gummy part, because I probably would get a gummy. That would be a little bit okay. So help me. So do you get it in different doses or what?
The CBD gummies,
Yeah,
the ones that I get are full spectrum, and they don't have the THC side, so the level of dose isn't quite as important as the THC side.
right.
Um, yeah, but the CBDs that I've gotten are full spectrum, so they have like the CBG, and I'm not very good at remembering all the different cannabinoids, but
That's
it
it.
has all of them. And I just take one once a day and I stay on it regularly, and it's helped
Okay.
level out my fatigue
It's
and
kind of
other
like you do a
symptoms that I've
vitamin.
had. Yeah,
Yeah, kind of like you do a vitamin.
just like a
One of your
vitamin.
other co-authors talked about the use of oils, and she puts it on her feet, um, and she puts it on her belly button, and it helps her to be able to go to sleep. So but she's using an oil. So help me with this,
Topical.
Julie and Rebecca and Tanika. So, what are the different forms of the medical cannabis? What are different forms that a person can get?
Do either of you want to take that?
Julie, you go ahead. You've got the knowledge.
There are different forms. A lot of people that take CBD or THC, they take them in a gummy or they smoke it in the
Mhm.
raw flower form. A lot of CBD is in a tincture form, which is in like a dropper. It's a liquid that you would put under your tongue and just swallow.
Uh-huh.
And then there's topical. So I always tell people, a lot of people say, I used that CBD and it didn't work, it doesn't work for me or whatever. A lot of the CBD on the market is CBD seed oil, and it's
Okay.
not CBD oil, so it's not medicinal. So a lot of your topical stuff specifically is like a cream or something like that has seed oil instead of CBD, so you're not feeling any effects from it. It's really healthy for your skin. It might
Uh-huh.
help skin conditions and things like
Uh-huh.
that. But as far as your muscles and pain and stuff like that, it's not going to really alleviate that. But I would say the best way to use it is just ingest it, however you want to ingest it. Eat it, tincture, smoke it. But you do have to get it into your body. And it's best to use it every day. It's not like an aspirin that you take when you have a headache or something like that. For it to actually help you, you want it to stay in your system, and you want to use it, daily, like you would a regular medicine.
Yeah. That is amazing. Well, I am looking forward to the book getting released. Those of you that would like to know more about the book and coming up, just you can follow Dr. Bridget. It is Dr. Bridget C. Williams. You can find her on Facebook. You can find her on Instagram. You can find her on TikTok, you all, as well. Dr. Bridget is just a fun, full of life, full of energy, and we just love her, but very knowledgeable. And I've just come to love her. And yeah, just a really great person. And so each of you, if you can just share just one last point, and we will be ending our broadcast. We do have an interview that's coming up on Saturday, so I'm going to step back so I can grab that graphic while you all just share. Tanika, yeah, come on and say, give your last words, and I will be right back with you. We'll go in a kind of like a round robin. Julie, you'll be next, and Rebecca last. Okay.
Final words. I'm just, like I said, I'm happy to be here on this journey. I hope that my story can help someone get through the things that they're going through.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. Sorry.
I would always encourage people to do all the research that they can. Look up on Google if you're scared to talk about it with your friends or family. Look up your conditions, whatever it is, high blood pressure or broken foot or arthritis, whatever your medical condition is. I always encourage people to look up that medical condition and cannabis. And it will show you a lot of scientific, research and things like that, medicinal things that have been proven. So just look into it if you're curious. If you don't have anyone to talk to, then look it up on the internet. You've got the information out there. So don't be scared to try it or reach out, to anyone in the industry, any of these medical marijuana doctors. You could reach out to with any of your questions or anything like that as well. But I definitely encourage anyone who hasn't used it or is scared to try it to definitely at least look into it.
Awesome. Becca?
I guess for my final words, I just hope everyone reads the book and gets to enjoy everybody's stories. I'm excited to be able to read everyone else's too. I enjoyed the first one.
What was it about the first one that that was most resonating with you now?
I think that so many people were willing to just, put it all out there and tell it. I grew up when, Dare was really big when I was a kid. So the being ashamed of it it's time to break away from that.
Yeah. Yeah. The authors take a lot of courage. And that's what this book is all about. It is about courage. Courage in cannabis is a different conversation. It is a much needed conversation. And as you get more educated about it, then you won't be so afraid, and will come to find out, listeners, that it's not what you think. It is truly not what you think. Yeah, back in the 60s and 70s and 80s, yeah, we used to smoke weed and get highs. But this is a whole different ball game. This is a whole different spectrum of. We have here with us a massage therapist. We have who uses the product to assist her clients. Then we have a farmer who also has a line of fertilizer. That right there just blows my mind. That, hey, if I need my fertilizer for my plants that I'm growing, then I definitely can go ahead and reach out to Julie. Then, of course, we had our other contributing author, Miss Tanika, who shares how this plant, the cannabis, has helped her overcome some of the challenges emotionally, physically, through coming out of a domestic violence situation. And so, as you can see, there is a variety of authors, different types, as Dr. Bridget has put in place and shared with us. And so those of you that can, tune in with me on tomorrow night. We will be with the final part 3 interview with you guys are welcome to come back if you'd like, because we're going to be on a different platform. We're going to be on a Zoom, which allows me to have a lot more of you all with us. So we're putting that in place. And if you have the time and want to come back and share and meet, yes, your other contributing authors, absolutely. Well, Dr. Bridget, if you listen to the replay, thank you so much. These are some amazing authors. We look forward to you guys joining us on tomorrow evening at 7:00 p.m. Central Standard Time, where we will continue our conversation with the authors of Courage in Cannabis, the Triumph Stories, with Dr. Bridget C. Williams, visionary author. And she had, and we'll talk about it tomorrow night, but the gentleman who is her contributing, who's a forwarder of this book, is someone who is sharing his story. He was on the industry side, behind the scenes, with a well-known celebrity and their product line. And so he's coming to the forefront to share his story and the relationship with cannabis. So ladies, thank you guys for joining me tonight. To certainly appreciate your courage, your openness, and your candidness about being in the book. And so you're about to become #1 bestsellers. For sure. All right. Well, we will be on. I want to introduce, if you guys allow me to share with you, I'm going to just share my screen and then we'll be saying goodnight. I will be interviewing Minister, Delisha. She will be joining us on tomorrow evening. Her book is about to be released. Delisha Jemison. The book is called Prayer, Ignite the Fire. And the book is soon to be released. We will be talking on this coming Saturday. Look out for the graphics. We'll be dropping. I'm super excited for her to come on to the show. She was also on our author tour on last fall, and through the book that is called Living Faith Out Loud. This is an upcoming book release. Don't ever lose your passion for prayer. Keep your fire burning. And you'll be finding out more about this book and this author in a few more days. We'll be releasing her graphics, but just wanted to put that out there, as well as we will be having the authors of this book. We'll be going into part 3 of the book on tomorrow. So ladies, thank you so much. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, share it out, listen to the replay. And if you're listening to the replay, thank you so much. Look out for the book release, because I tell people, listen, put it in your phone, put it on your calendar, put a Post-it note on your head. Why? Because you want to make sure that you purchase this book, not only for yourself when they do the digital campaign, not just for yourself, but go ahead and buy a couple of more and give them out, because you just never know how their story is going to impact your life. You may be going through some things, and whether it's through health or you're looking forward to expand a business or start a business, find out the tips and tools. It may not be a business in cannabis, but the foundation and the blueprint has been set. But we're excited to have Dr. Bridget on with us tomorrow evening. You all tune in. Yeah, I will probably be back in my studio on tomorrow. But yeah, right now I'm going to take care of the rabbit and take care of the dogs and just wind it down for the night. This is Sandy Sanders. Thank you, ladies, for tuning in. I certainly appreciate you guys, and you have a great night. And it was so nice to meet you. And you guys are meeting each other for the first time. Yes, indeed. All right. You all take care. Have a great night. And thank you.
Thank you.
Right. All right. Bye-bye.